gave her a position, and everybody with any sense knows that that was a favor because Bill Clinton stumped for him. So anyhow, whenever Obama took office, he took over little George, and what's Cheney's first name? I don't even want to know. Anyway, he took over their mess, and I think gas was what, $4 a gallon when Obama took over. Right now you can get it for $1.20 to $1.40. Well, sounds to me like we done something good there. The only other thing he didn't do is get a hold on grocery prices. They're killing us on that. But anyway, we're not in an all-out scared to death set of circumstances as far as having a whole bunch of troops in foreign countries. I know we still got some, but we ain't got a mess of foreign troops. In Iraq and Afghanistan like we did when Dick. Yeah, that's a perfect fitting name, ain't it? For a vice president. I forgot his name's Dick. That's perfect. Don't even have to say a bad word or curse or anything, because that's a perfect description of that guy. Anyway, I guess I didn't realize how much stuff you can go on with on one of these Vid-Blog deals. Anyway, so we don't have all that going on with Iraq, Afghanistan, all that stuff. Not like we did. It's hardly even talked about. Now everything's got to do with, well, when we left a bunch of equipment, and ISIS and whoever went in and grabbed the equipment or used it against other people and stuff. Well, what do you think? I mean, what happened? How did the Indians, I mean, God love them, how did the Indians ever end up with rifles and stuff to fight back, right? Well, ain't this kind of the same thing? You know, we had idiots that was selling rifles, you know, to the Indians and crap, or trading for them. No telling what all they traded to get a wad of rifles. Well, we're doing, you know, we did the same thing. We got people that'll sell crap underneath the table, weapons to these other countries to use against us or somebody else they don't like. But anyway, you get my drift on that. But anyway, I think Obama's going to go down to be one of the most intelligent presidents we've ever had, and I just got a feeling that if I can't even think of anybody except for Casey that's running right now. I think just about anybody that we get in there, I got a feeling that we're going to start drifting in the wrong direction. But anyhow, all right, let's get off that and go to the governor. We got a governor in this state right now. His name's Haslam. They're so friggin' rich, he said he didn't even need a salary if we'd elect him governor. Well, duh. Why would he need a pindly little salary, a little governor's salary, if he's already a friggin' trillionaire? Well, guess what? When you get into office like that, you can get money from all kinds of other directions that makes that regular salary look like chump change. In this case, we can call it Trump change. Anyway, so he's looking at this outsourcing thing that he's going to do with all utilities and prisons and state parks and all this other crap. And he's supposed to have this blind trust investment in this company that he's pushing for to get all the contracts for the next 10 years to take care of all this stuff. And he's got something like 18 months left in office. I think it's 18 months. Anyway, he's only got a short amount of time left in office. I think he's in his second term. Little wiggle worm guy. And all the Haslams is just like mega rich. And they dump money in over here where I go to collect a check. My dad used to call it I don't know, government train or state train or welfare train. I don't know what he called it. Anyway, can even remember looking down on people that work for the state, because it's always been a kind of a reputation. If you work for the state, you don't do crap. Don't do crap, don't have to do crap. But here's the thing, you don't get paid very well to not do crap. So anyway, he's going to outsource. So the way I see that, it's pretty dang simple. Okay, if he's got this blind trust in this JLL outfit that is, I think the president or some big high-ranking officials, Roger Staubach. You might remember him from being well, you got to be older, I guess. Remember him as being a quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys years and years ago. Well, I guess he had to do something. So anyway, I don't know who all teamed up with him, but obviously the governor's teamed up with him. The governor's got a blind trust, and the way I understand that is it's an agreement and in money invested. He's got a blind trust in this company that he's wanting to come in and run all facets of the state, pretty much. You know, utilities for the universities, run the state parks, any restaurant that's operated underneath the umbrella of the state parks, that oversee them, plus purchasing contracts of supplies and equipment and stuff. That's all going to be part of it. Anyway, it don't take a genius to figure, duh, he's going to end up pocketing a ton of money. And you know, we've had discussions about this, and what do you think? How much is enough? If the guy is so rich he doesn't have to take a salary to be governor, how much is enough? And then he's taking the least among us. He's going to take the least among us, and he's going to shoot us all in the street and bring this other outfit in. That he's got investments in to run all these places. How much is enough, you know? Well, the president of where I work got on just the other day. I don't know what day it was. Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. February the 16th, he got on, made a big speech. Acted like he was about to choke to death because he kept taking drinks of water and getting choked when he was trying to talk and couldn't get his words right. Here this guy is the president over, you know, $1 trillion university over here. And part of his announcements is we're hiring more chancellors and more people to run this place. But we haven't decided yet if we're going to outsource the little people. Well, let me ask you. Okay, I'm on the little people list. Let me ask you this. How much sense does it make that you're hiring all these upper echelon people making a couple of $100,000 to $500,000 a year, and then you're fixing to dump a whole bunch of people out on the street that's, you know, barely making above minimum? Drop in the bucket. You're talking $30,000, $40,000 to $60,000 a year people, men and women, provide for their families. They hinge on that income. People come over here and they show up every single day. They stay all day. They do whatever they're asked to do. They stay within the rules and the boundaries of the policies and the procedures and all that BS. But then they turn right around and they're thinking about dumping us all in the street. Sounds to me like we've got a little dictatorship going on here. Power. And it sounds like, oh, and by the way, we got a chancellor that keeps his hiney in trouble all the time. He had to create a special diversity department over here to come up with these idiotic ideas about making sure that we refer to different genders properly. So it'd be politically correct, I guess, when we call, or when we refer to a multi-gender person, you know, transsexual, all that. Transsexual, is that it? Anyway, all that stuff, we refer to them properly. Well, he gets his butt in trouble for it. Then he pulls a guy in that he had hired himself to be over the department, some kind of associate chancellor himself. Pulls him in, use him as a scapegoat as, well, here's the dumb son of a bucket that come up and put all this out for everybody to see. How much sense does that make? I thought, just like with the President of the United States, okay? Big mistakes are made, the buck stops there. Well, I'd kind of like to know why we've got such a weak president over here and such a weak A vice or a weak A chancellor that they can't stand up and say, Governor, we're good like we are. We'd really appreciate if you just left us alone. And they won't do it. It's obvious that when DiPietro got up the other day, of course that's the president of the University of Tennessee, when he got up the other day on the 16th to make his speech, we heard nothing but another stall tactic about, well, we've not decided whether we're going to opt out or not. Opt out meaning, of course, if we're going to opt out and say, nah, we're not wanting to go that way. We're not wanting to go the governor's proposal. Well, that's all high and mighty and sounds great, doesn't it? But let me ask you this. How many people that has a boss, everybody's got to report to somebody, right? How many people that has a boss is going to tell them, nah, we don't like your idea, we ain't gonna do it? Well, guess what would happen to 90% of us? It's not an open forum usually when your boss tells you that we're going to do something. So I guess bottom line is whatever the governor ends up saying, which he's already said, he wants to have his company to come in and run this place in the ground, or run this place. You know, he's got 18 months to go. He's wanting to see a huge profit come off of this whole thing. And isn't it perfect that they're going to put the contract good for 10 years? You know, I mean, the guy's probably, what, 60 years old or whatever, so for 10 years, he's going to make a sweeping profit off of this whole idea and mess that he's getting us into. Well, I won't be part of it. Except for the going to the house part of it. But anyway, we didn't get to see anything major exciting on the road so far this morning. But this is Construction University here. I don't know if you can see it, but that's a new science building of some sort that's going up over there. They've been working on that, seems like forever. And speaking of Mexican and Trump and building walls and stuff, here's the funny part too. You go by any of these construction projects over here and they're loaded with Mexicans. What does that tell you? You know, if the buck stops there, you know that the governor knows that there's a whole load of Mexicans over here that's not just this university, but all over the state. We got Mexicans coming in left and right. What's his stand on immigration? What are we going to do about construction if we don't have Mexicans? I mean, my Lord, everybody knows that Mexicans are used all over the place now for construction projects. I just visited Mexico. Actually, last month I was down in Mexico. The one funny thing that I've noticed, and I've visited Mexico several times, the one funny thing I've noticed about Mexico is you've got unfinished buildings all over the place. I mean, if you've ever been to Mexico, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's not just Mexico, it's all over the Caribbean and all that stuff. Isn't that interesting? Mexicans they'll go in and they'll build a portion of a building and then they'll walk right off and leave it. You know, I'm not sure about how all that's working. I've stories about, you know, they run out of money if you get on one of these guide buses, guide vans, or taxi cabs, and you're in Mexico, or you're in St. Thomas, or one of those places, and they're taking you from point A to point B, and you start asking them about that stuff. They'll, oh, they must have run out of money, or they ran out of money, or they were doing that and such happened. But I thought that guy didn't have any pants on. Sorry. Anyway, this is you grand students. These poor kids' parents is dumping out gazillions of dollars for them to come over here and go to school and flood the market with whatever it is they're studying. So anyway, well, I'm just about to pull up here. I'm running later than usual. I'm usually quite a bit earlier than this. Hopefully I'll get a parking spot. But this is your grand construction theme. Notice that they always cut the streets up and then try to patch them, and it looks like pure crap. And also, of course, you might be able to tell by the ride that it jerks you around all over the place. But anyhow, we're just about at our lovely parking area. And here comes one of our Grand Popo mobiles. They always, since I've been here, they've always been white with orange and black trim. Now they're solid black. Guess it makes them look more threatening. They wouldn't get any respect. Oh, sorry. Anyway, this is us right here, and this is of course, I think this is February the 19th, and this is our first attempt at a vid-blog, and it's been fun. And we will continue on this afternoon. So we've enjoyed it. Hope you have. And